The athletic department at St. John's Jesuit High School welcomes you to tonight's game between the Knights of St. Francis of the Sales and the Titans of St. John's Jesuit. And we thank you for your support of high school student athletes. The officials assigned to this game have met the requirements set by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and have been approved by both schools to provide their services in tonight's contest. The officials for this game are Mr. Tom Gibbons, Mr. Darrell Miles, and Mr. John Banks. The athletes, coaches, and officials are guests of St. John's Jesuit High School, and fans are asked to respect the effort. We ask everyone in attendance to show courtesy for fellow fans, officials, coaches, those administrating the contest, and of course, your team and your opponent. Always remember to respect the game, regardless of the outcome. Now, let's meet the players and coaching staffs in tonight's game. First, for the visiting...
We welcome you back inside the Titan Dome. St. John's ranked 6th in the state in Division I in the first AP poll, 7-2 overall, unbeaten in the track. St. Francis 8-2, 4-1 in the league, a late loss on the road at Whitmer. Their only defeat in track play. They also lost in overtime to Southview in the season opener, and we got off, I think, to a fitting start for such a wonderful rivalry. Our national anthem performer stumbled a little bit in the middle. He was picked up by both sets of fans here, plus the neutrals that made the trip out through the snow to the Titan Dome. It's not how you start, Terry, it's how you finish.
Absolutely, and you know, it was going to be a great start and it's a great finish. Great atmosphere here in the Titan Dome tonight as they turn the lights off for the introduction of the St. John's Titans.
Let's take you through tonight's starting lineups for both teams. St. Francis with Taylor McNeil, Jaquil Wells, and Drew Swerline in the backcourt. McNeil and Swerline, two very good three-point shooters. Jaquil Wells, really the motor that keeps this team going, and a couple of big bodies in the front court. Jackie Harris, who averages a double-double a game, and Grant Sonnenberg, who provides them with a big lift in terms of energy and defensive play, though he doesn't score a lot. St. John's counters with Ryan Christie, Peyton Moyer, Dimitri Mitsopoulos at the guards, Houston King, and Vincent Williams. King and Williams, as potent a scoring duo as there is anywhere in the state. Between the two of them, they average about 40 a game.
Boy, they sure do, you know, and what a luxury to have two players that can score at that level like they do, because it's not like you can take one away. Typically in a high school basketball game, there's one great scorer and you can focus on some way to shut him down. Not the case here with King and Williams.
Dimitri Mitsopoulos, the sophomore, drawing a big assignment. He will be on Jaquil Wells to start the game. We've seen Mitsopoulos in the fall as a football player, here in the winter as a basketball player. He brings so much energy and tenacity. It's a gutsy call by Ed Heinzel.
Boy, it sure is, and you know what? He's got a tall tail because Jaquil Wells handles the basketball, and oh, is he quick with it. Going to have to really work on keeping him in front of him.
Travis Lewis has done a terrific job with this St. Francis program, now in his 6th season up on Bancroft. His team lost twice to St. John's last year, when some thought that the Knights might finally be able to break that hex. They've lost 17 consecutive games to that man. Ed Heinzel, his 39th season, 2 wins away from 700. He would become just the 4th Ohio boys high school basketball coach in history to hit that mark.
Well, think about that for a second. Only 4 guys have done it, and I tell you what, Coach Heinzel year in and year out has his guys ready to go.
Tip is controlled by St. John's. They'll wear the home whites. St. Francis in their black uniforms, the big game black uniforms. In fact, the St. Francis students going with a blackout tonight. A short jumper on the baseline is good for Houston King, and it's 2-0 Titan.
Right away, Houston King showing off the bunch. Very difficult shot in the short corner there. A little bit behind the backboard. Excellent shot by King.
Taylor McNeil, the senior, will shoot from anywhere in the gym. Jaquil Wells on the attack. 2 defenders collapse on him. It was Mitsopoulos and Williams. Vince Williams so quick, one end to the other. Peyton Moyer in the corner for 3, had it swirl out. The rebound pulled down by Jackie Harris, who averages a double-double a game at 16 points and 11 rebounds. McNeil off glass, 2-2.
Interesting early on how these two feel each other out, the jitters of the high energy in this game. Which team is going to settle down first?
It's the lob to Williams, 3 defenders there, and a wild shot off the window. Vince Williams having a phenomenal season. 20.7 points, 11.6 rebounds a game. A foul is called on Houston King, and Jaquil Wells heads to the free throw line.
Well, early on, Jaquil showing his ability to get to the rim. That's going to be very important to get that counteracted, because he's going to continue to attack the basket. Can they keep him under control?
Jaquil Wells having a terrific junior campaign, though he misses the first free throw. Gives them just under 14 points, just under 6 rebounds a night. Travis Lewis told me before they played Whitmer back in December, he's still trying to figure out how to drive the car. Misses both free throws. Bashed down along the baseline by Swerline, but back to Peyton Moyer. We asked him how it was coming along, his driving lessons, I guess you could say, and he says, oh, he's driving the car now.
He's giving up the keys.
Nice feed, Swerline to Harris, and a blocking foul called on Ryan Christie. He got to his feet in a hurry, not too happy with the call. The second foul already on St. John's. There's another look. What did you think, Terry?
Yeah, a little bit of movement. He moved just a slight at the last second to get in the way. Not quite in position. Good call there by the official.
Wells with a pair of 30-point games this season, and 29 last time out against Bowser. And that is an offensive foul. Jaquil Wells right into Dimitri Mitsopoulos.
Mitsopoulos, excellent job using his quickness there to get to the spot, cut that off, got to the spot there in that situation, and also you see Wells extend the arm a little bit there, make it easy calling the charge.
Feels like that has really been a talking point the last few years. Anytime you extend that off arm, you're asking for trouble. Yeah, especially when the defender goes down like that, so it makes it seem worse than what maybe it even possibly was. Williams, a three.
Wow, what a three. Harris, pretty good defense there. Hand in the face. Williams knocks it down with the left hand.
Vince Williams did not play in St. John's last 2 games because of a shoulder problem. An injury sustained out in California during their holiday tournament as Taylor McNeil banged it the three. He has all 5 St. Francis points.
One of the things Coach Lewis has been looking for is that guy to be consistent from the outside of the three. Maybe it's going to be McNeil tonight as he's knocked that three down with a hand in the face.
That's an early foul on Jackie Harris, and he will have to be careful. And another foul on the Knights as Williams and Swerline got tangled up. That's for Swerline's first. Coach Lewis, we were talking off air right before tip-off how hot it was inside the Titan Dome, and Coach Lewis has already lost the jacket.
With the high intensity, it doesn't take long for that jacket just to kind of be shed.
Harris is on Williams. King spinning and scoring. That's a shot he really didn't have a year ago. He's averaging 18 points a game this year. Really diversified on the offensive end and has really become a force. Not exactly willing to take a back seat to Vince Williams, is he?
Well, and I tell you what, if he can elevate and shoot the ball like that over top, the defense has nothing they can do.
Jaquil Wells called for traveling. One of the St. Francis keys was to keep the St. John's crowd out of it early. Once this place gets loud, it's hard to quiet it down. That's a double dribble on Mitsopoulos. Are you sensing some nerves to start for both teams, Terry?
A little bit of nerves, you know, they're feeling each other out here. The defenses, you know, early on defense have worked the past week on how they're going to stop things. So as it goes, the defense will break down and offense will figure out counteracts to what the defense is doing.
King is on Wells, trying to shake loose. Has it blocked by King. Good balance from Wells to get it back. Oh, McNeil got Williams in the air and hits.
Little ball fake there by Neil. Williams went flying by, knocked the three down.
Houston King has the answer. Back and forth we go.
That'll get the crazies going here in the Titan Dome, knocking the three down, answering it.
King and Williams combined to force the turnover. Swerline didn't want to get called for another foul, and Williams has 5 points. This is fun. Wells, nice feed for Harris, who left it short. Followed up his own miss, and he was fouled. He'll get Houston King for his second.
I tell you can't ask for better atmosphere than what you have right here going on. Two high school teams, two of the best in the area at that, just battling each other.
Now, what kind of impact might that have on the rest of this half as Harris hits the first free throw? It's Brady Lichtenberg, the freshman starting quarterback from the fall, replacing King. Lichtenberg has proven himself to be a pretty good scorer. 7 points a game to go with 4 rebounds. Harris hits the 2 free throws.
Yeah, Lichtenberg had a nice game when they were in California, scored 16 points in that game, so, you know, not a slouch coming off the bench here, can score the basketball.
At 16 against Clay last time out also. Reverse layup is there for Peyton Moyer.
Great backdoor cut there by Moore, and even excellent job using the rim going to the reverse side, taking away any possibility of a block shot.
Wells forced it, missed it. Sonnenberg had it for a second, but ripped away by Ryan Christie. Christie, one of 2 transfers that has had a big impact for St. John's this year. He came over from Central Catholic and a native of Oak Harbor, my hometown. Lichtenberg missing from point-blank range. Taylor McNeil again, count the bucket. You know, when Coach Lewis reached out to me today with his starting lineup, he had 4 guys decided, was waiting to figure out who the 5th would be. We got to the gym tonight, asked him who the 5th starter would be. He says Taylor McNeil. Good choice, Coach.
Absolutely, and that basket there is all because of the fact that he's knocked down a couple 3-pointers, so you got to close out hard on him, and he does the blow-by for and 1.
Taylor McNeil with 11 of St. Francis, 13 points. What a start for the 6'1 senior. Doubling up his scoring average. Lichtenberg was called for that last foul, the 4th on St. John's in this opening quarter. Williams, spinning baseline, good defense by Harris, but it didn't matter because Vince Williams can reach into his bag of tricks and pull out a fall-away jump shot from the baseline.
Well, I tell you, again, Harris, you can't defend it any better. That's just how good Vincent Williams is, that step back from the baseline.
Williams tipping that pass into the student section. St. Francis, a team that has won 5 consecutive games, playing really, really well when they went on the road and beat Findlay by a dozen. Perfectly worked inbounds play. Well, setting up Harris.
Great backdoor cut by Harris. Finishes with the left hand at the rim, right over the top of Williams there.
After the game against Findlay, St. Francis had 10 days away from playing live competition, but they had 10 really good days of practice. Went out against Bowser on the 9th, their first game of the new year, and only won by 4. Coach Lewis said they were flat and sluggish, so some of the momentum that they had didn't really carry over. Beautiful move on the baseline by Williams. He has 9 points.
St. Francis really going to have to look to bring a second guy to help defend, especially when he gets that deep to the basket, because he's going to finish around the rim every time there.
Still 2 minutes left in this opening quarter, and an offensive foul, a moving screen on Grant Sonnenberg.
Yeah, that moving screen a little bit set up there by Wells. He's got to wait a split second longer as you see Sonnenberg come up to set the screen. Sonnenberg doesn't have his feet set, so it's the same thing as a charge situation. Feet have to be set before you take the defender off that screen. Wells needs to wait just 1 split second longer.
No foul on that one.
Vince Williams from the top.
Vince Williams.
So Vince with a dozen, Taylor McNeil with 11. I was going to say he wouldn't dare shoot from the tee, would he? Go into the lane, the soft touch. Baker's dozen for McNeil. There's Mitsopoulos, had to pick up his dribble with the 6'6" Jackie Harris on him. No chance for Moyer to get the shot away. Vince Williams won't be shy about taking those. Playing that one off the heel, but up high for the offensive board was Moyer, and Williams with one more coming at the line.
What a great play there. Great offensive rebound by Moyer. And then Vince Williams at the end here, you see him hanging just at the last second to avoid the block shot, to get the foul, and one.
I remember seeing Vince Williams as a freshman and thinking, he's going to be pretty good. And I was right, but I didn't go nearly far enough.
Yeah, he's certainly pretty good, boy. And as we said, inside, outside, rebounding the basketball. What a fine talent he is.
We'll get a rest for the last 57.4 seconds of this opening quarter. Jaden McKinstry checks in to replace him. Now, we talked about St. John's being the benefit of a couple of transfers this year that have made an impact. McKinstry is the other one. He came over from Fremont Ross. Good friend of Elijah Kimmons, his classmate, sophomore, also on the team.
Jaden's played 3 games so far. He transferred partway through last year, so the Ohio State rule is that you have to sit 10 games. So he sat his 10 games, and I'm sure he's anxious to get it going here. Coach said that first game back, he had 3 fouls within a matter of 2 minutes in the game. So we'll see how he goes tonight for him.
McKinstry and Christie, the two of them averaging about 14 points a night. Wells getting through the lane, and he'll get to the line.
Yeah, again, just too quick off the bounce there. Got to move your feet, get to that spot, give him a step. He hasn't shown that he wants to shoot that outside shot. He's looking to go to the rim. Give him a step, make him hit that outside shot, earn it from out there first.
Jaquil Wells with his first points of the night. And Williams won't get much of a rest because he comes right back in.
A situation there, coach took him out on the defensive end so he doesn't pick up a cheap foul there late in the quarter. Got a little bit of a break, put him back in. You got the basketball here coming down offensively. Going to run something, I'm sure, for Vincent to get a shot here to end the first quarter.
I suppose this is the kind of rivalry where you'll make offense for defense substitutions in the first quarter. Not just a late game thing. Wells can't hit the free throw. We'll get another crack at it. A lane violation called on St. John's.
You see Coach Cheinzel there on the sideline pointing ahead. That's one of those mental things that drives the coaches absolutely nuts. Getting in the lane a little bit early there. You'd had a miss. You'd had the rebound. Now you're given an opportunity to put another point on the board.
Couldn't take advantage. Shoreline fighting to keep it alive and saved along the sideline by Scott Zepp. Hard-working senior. Here is Wells from the outside, left it short. The way his first quarter has gone, you might want to wait for Taylor McNeil to take that shot. Titans can hold it for one. Down to 8 seconds. Williams hits right in the face of Scott Zepp. Vince Williams, by my count, 18 first quarter points. And I'm sorry to say, the first quarter is over. What a game already here at the Titan Dome. 27-19, St. John's on top. Start of the second quarter here at St. John's. What an opening 8 minutes, 27-19. Titans on top of the Knights. Vince Williams with 18 points already. Mason Lowry, Terry Shadle, happy to have you along. Terry, what are you looking for in this second quarter? What does St. Francis need to do to get back into it?
Well, Vince Williams is doing pretty much whatever he wants. Got to find a way to stop him. I don't know if that's possible right now the way he's playing.
Taylor McNeil finally missing one from beyond the arc, but Jaquil Wells got the offensive rebound. McNeil. Sonnenberg missed on the follow, and a foul called on St. John's in the battle for the rebound. It's on Marcus Jarrett. Got a cameo at the end of the quarter and picks up his second foul. Get into the first quarter, that is. It's the sixth foul on St. John's. The Knights might be able to make up some ground at the free throw line. Wells did not shoot it well from the stripe in that opening quarter. Wells with a miss, but kept alive by Scott Zapp. Bruce Swerline averages 9 a game, yet to really get going. It's been the Taylor McNeil show thus far when the Knights have had the ball. Swerline going baseline and fouled by Lichtenberg. That's 2 on him. So we've got 2 fouls already on Houston King, Brady Lichtenberg, and Marcus Jarrett. That's 3 guards, and Coach Heinchel might need to go even deeper into his bench.
Yeah, not something that Coach obviously wanted to or was looking forward to or having to do tonight, but we'll see who can come up and step up. You know, when you are a great team, you have somebody sitting, waiting in the wings to have their opportunity, and here's an opportunity for these guys coming off the bench to make an impact on this game.
Yet Heinchel does go deeper into his bench, but he brings in another forward, Kyron Bolden, number 22. He was a starter at the beginning of the year in that number 5 spot. Plucked out of the air by King, who is back out there. Cannot afford to pick up a third foul. Left Swerline in the dust. Not enough on the pass. In the scramble for it, a foul on Wells. That's 2 on him.
Such an unfortunate foul, too. You just have a loose ball. 2 kids going hard for the basketball. Feet happen to get tied up. I mean, it is a foul, but it's just one of those ones so unfortunate. Good hustle by both players. It's just incidental. Feet tangled up there at half court. Foul's got to be called because it impacted the play.
Jaquil Wells will sit. Jackie Harris back in the game at just 4 points in that opening quarter. Averages 16.4 a game. King from the outside making it rain. He's got 10 in spite of those 2 early fouls.
Came off of that screen, ready to shoot the basketball. Great read. Defender trailed him, curled right around that screen, knocked the 3 down.
King making it rain, though making it snow might be a little more apt considering the weather outside. He beat his 10 for the first time tonight. Go ahead, Jared.
Definitely don't need any more snow than what's coming down right now.
Harris has the answer. Travis Lewis was telling us, hey, right now, Jackie Harris is our best 3-point shooter. We have to get some other guys going from the outside. Williams, and even 20 points for him, and we're only 10 minutes into the game.
Well, he just, no answer. Inside, outside, taking to the basket, hanging, finishing at the rim.
St. Francis, though, cannot really afford to trade baskets at this point. The length of Williams forces the turnover. Flipped it up ahead for Moyer. Williams could not finish, but he'll shoot 2. He was fouled by Grant Sonnenberg. Travis Lewis down below us wants a timeout.
Foul number 40, Grant Sonnenberg, his second team sixth. Timeout, St. Francis.
A full timeout. Vince Williams will shoot 2 at the line when we come back. Titans up 9. Vincent Williams at the free throw line. He has 20 of St. John's 32 points. .21. Already hit his average. After 10 minutes and 18 seconds.
Certainly put it in the basket tonight. Oh, he is mortal. What do you know?
A rare miss for him. Terry, if you're Travis Lewis, what's the message to your team in that full timeout?
Well, I think it's more of a let's take a deep breath here and get back to what we do, kind of as a turnover happens there. Got to take care of the basketball.
Behind the back, trying to leave it for King. In the end, it worked out fine. An easy two turns into an easy three.
Yeah, and there's just not much that you can do. I mean, it's all going right for the Titans right now. Played pretty good transition defense there. Got a deflection. Unfortunately, falls into Houston King's hand, and he knocked the three down.
Jackie Harris catch and shoot. Williams ripping down the rebound. Not looking like that shoulder is bothering him too much. Ha! King left it for Williams. Those two are in sync. Pushed it to the corner. A catch and shoot three for Peyton Moyer.
Well, if he's not scoring, he's getting assists. Way to knock it down, Moyer. Great pass by Williams to find him wide open in the corner. Bang the three.
Peyton Moyer had maybe the most difficult travel here this evening. He's from Archbold. Bit of a hike in weather like this. The Knights turn it over.
Vincent Williams making an impact there on the defensive end. One of those few charted stats that don't go noticed is a deflection there. He didn't get the steal, but he got a deflection which didn't allow Sonnenberg to catch the basketball there, and it deflected off of him out of bounds turnover.
Ed Heinchel said last year that a lot of their success was down to moving Vincent Williams farther from the basket and making him more of a guard than a forward, as the Titans make a rare mistake there. But you could just see his evolution from being kind of a complimentary guy his first couple of years who still produced to being truly dominant point forward.
Well, absolutely, and even though we have a couple guards here who got himself in foul trouble, it doesn't matter because Williams is able to handle the basketball and do all those things that those guards are typically going to do.
Taylor McNeil rattles one home from the outside. He's got 16 points. And it's an interesting change defensively, Terry. Dimitri Metsopoulos was on Jaquil Wells to start the game. Now that Taylor McNeil has continued to hurt them, Metsopoulos is on him now. St. Francis fans wanted a traveling call, did not get it.
Didn't get a travel, probably could have got a foul there on Wells ahead of time. Play on.
Nice feed from King to Bolden, could not convert on the reverse layup. Metsopoulos almost poked it away from Swerline. He read the pass well enough. Wells to the other end, had it blocked by Williams. Harris fighting for positioning inside. Too strong. Wells kept alive for the Knights. St. Francis offensively not looking in sync at the moment. McNeil fouled by Moyer, his first.
I guess if you look at one negative here so far, obviously it's been McNeil who's had pretty much success doing what he wants. So Coach Heinz is going to have to find an answer for McNeil here at the defensive end. He's hit a couple threes, but he's also causing fouls by the guards off the bounce.
Taylor McNeil, the senior, was a part-time starter last year.
Talking to Coach Lewis throughout before the game here, he's looking for that guy to knock down. McNeil obviously has done that tonight. Hopefully he can do that going forward for Coach Lewis and the Knights.
It's a foul on St. John's.
I think they got Swerline on the hold there, trying to get around Williams.
Swerline second.
So Williams was shooting the 1-and-1 as he grabbed him down there on that rebound.
Taylor McNeil back to him for a second, has been struggling to shoot the ball this season. He's shooting from the outside at just 19%. Only averaging 5.9 a game. Here he is with 17 in the first half on the road at St. John's.
It's one of those situations, again, talking to Coach Lewis, he talked about how he feels he's got the capability. It's one of those stretches that he's just went through, and so much of shooting is a mental piece of it and having confidence in yourself. And when you're a shooter, you just got to shoot through it. And all great shooters work their way out of a slump, and hopefully tonight's the night that he's been able to work that out and he's going to be able to continue on.
It's Williams now with 23 points. What are the chances we can keep this pace up for 32 minutes?
Boy, it's been high active, high energy for sure.
Wells clanged the runner. St. John's so good in transition. Here comes Williams again.
32, Vince Williams.
Williams runs the 4 there. Christie finds him right at the rim, finishes the 2.
Jackie Harris out to set a screen for Swerline. Swerline just 1 point so far in this game. You can tell McNeil thought about the 30-footer, lost his footing, he traveled.
A little bit off balance there, fall down, good defense by Williams. I want to talk about the Titan defense, though. You see, they do such a great job communicating on all the screens. So coming off those screens, which St. Francis likes to do to get to the rim, they're doing a great job of hedging or switching. And when they switch, it's great communication so that the pick and roll option is not there for them.
Here's McKinstry. Foul called on St. Francis. That's Taylor McNeil's first.
Number 1, Taylor McNeil, his first team's agent. On the line of the Titans, number 42, Jaden McKinstry.
Jaden McKinstry to the line. He was a difference maker in football season as well. He had to sit out the first half of the season, having transferred. All of a sudden in week 6, they had another 6'5" option and wide receiver. And I'll tell you what, Brady Lichtenberg, terrific young quarterback. He's got some really good sophomore wideouts in McKinstry and Sam Swift, who is on the basketball team as well. We've not seen him yet tonight, and Dimitri Mitsopoulos. Yeah, they're going to be good for the next few years, offensively anyway. The defense led by Gary Batch, who is a reserve on the Titan basketball team also, a 6'3" sophomore at safety and a terrific one. Harris allowed to shoot over Bolden. McKinstry got 2 hands on the rebound, and Ryan Christie picked it up.
When you talk about, you look at the basketball court too, yeah, you have the 3 seniors in Christie and King and Williams, but you have a lot of sophomores and then Lichtenberg as well, the freshmen, who are doing a lot of contributing here, so it's going to be right here for a couple years on the basketball court as well.
Christie going at full speed, had it ripped away by Wells, and then off the shin of Christie out of bounds. McNeil around a curl.
Number 40, Grant Sonnenberg, his third team's not.
That's 3 on Sonnenberg. Wasn't clear initially to anyone, I don't think, who that foul was on or even which team the foul was called on. Well, Sonnenberg will have to sit.
It was off the basketball, setting the screen there for McNeil. Must have moved his hip into the defender there as he went by.
Williams, foul. Travis Lewis puts his head in his hands.
Number 1, Taylor McNeil,
and the head in the hands is because, again, you got to fly at him because he's shown tonight he's going to knock it down with just a hand in the face, and so you're trying to do a little bit more to get a deflection of the basketball to cause him to change his shot. He's got 25 points already, so you're going to have that tendency of fouling him because you're trying to deflect the ball or do something to disrupt the flow that Vince has going on.
Williams wanted the ball back, wasn't sure why he wasn't getting it, has to tuck his shirt in. Now it has been a talking point for officials and for coaches and fans too. Technically, you're not supposed to roll the waistbands of the short over so they're exposed like they do at the college ranks. You don't see it enforced very often though.
Fortunate thing of the white jersey, you can't see it, so I'm sure there's a couple of them out there doing it. The kids love it these days.
Jackie Harris going to work. 9 points for him in his first half, but the second quarter has been an almighty struggle offensively for St. Francis. They were down 8 at the end of the first. They find themselves down 15 and maybe more than that come halftime. It's a foul on Scott Zepp. And the St. Francis fans all around us starting to get restless. And that means the St. John students clap in their direction.
No mocking going on there at all. That's one of those fouls where a little bit of a bump. Sometimes they let it go, sometimes they don't. Thought it was too much there, got the foul. Vince gets 2 free throws.
One of the more remarkable first half individual outputs I've seen. And we've come to expect this sort of thing from Vince Williams, and in spite of how high our expectations are for him, he still manages to amaze us. Wells, a wild dribble, had it poked away. Traveling is the call with 0.4 seconds left in the half. Quick catch and shoot three, and air ball from Drew Swerline. And that caps the most remarkable first half here at the Titan Dome. The Vince Williams Show. The first 16 minutes. He's had a remarkable night, and so is Houston King. Halftime, 46-29. 17-point lead for the Titans. More after this on BCSN.
BCSN, available exclusively on Buckeye Broadband, is presented by Palace Buick GMC, doing business with character, and by Test Electronics.
of hate to make the folks at home avert their eyes from musical chairs out at half court. This has been as hard-fought a battle as the first half was itself. 46-29 our score. St. John's up 17 on their rivals from St. Francis. A look back at the first half, and for a while, Terry Shadle, this was a battle between Taylor McNeil of St. Francis and Vincent Williams of St. John's, but the Titans able to pull away in the second quarter.
Well, sure. You know, you saw the one thing that they did have going for them early on as they were getting to the basket. St. Francis went away from that a little bit, but as you see Vincent Williams knocking the three down, he's been able to do it all tonight. Inside, outside, 27 points. And Houston King hasn't been a slouch either. The 1-2 punch for St. John's definitely got the job done tonight.
Houston King also in double figures. Williams showing his range, not just an inside scorer. He shot well from the free throw line too. Taylor McNeil, though, here's a guy who averages just under 6 points a game for St. Francis. His shooting kept them in it early on.
Boy, sure did. Coach Lewis has been waiting for him to step it up and be a little more consistent with his three-point shooting. He's got that done tonight.
How many times do you see a team shoot 76% in a half of basketball and 7 of 8 from the outside?
Well, yeah, 76%. They shot 21 times, so it's not like they shot the ball only 10 times and 7 of 8. I mean, they're finding nothing but the bottom of the net tonight.
St. Francis not shooting poorly, 43.5%. It's not bad. 4 of 7 from 3 is certainly good, but free throw shooting hurt them. And while they didn't turn the ball over a ton, their turnovers felt costly.
Yes, exactly, and it's that live ball turnover what allowed St. John's to get easy buckets to the other end. So you got to learn to take care of the basketball and not turn it over so they get easy transition buckets.
Yeah, Taylor McNeil with 17 to lead St. Francis. Jackie Harris chipping in with 9, just 2 from Jaquil Wells, who we talked about in the open, and St. John's being paced by Vince Williams and Houston King. Now we made a note early out of the game that those two together combined for 40 points on average a night. Yeah, they had 40 in the first half.
So they're going to get that job done tonight and plus. So the key there as well is with only 2 points, he's got to be another scorer. They can't get it done with just McNeil getting 17 points. He's got his. Coach Heinzel's too good of a coach. McNeil's going to have something against him to not allow him to score as he does. So Wells and Harris are going to have to step up.
Halftime here at the Titan Dome. 17-point lead for St. John's. Will return right after this on BCSN.
BCSN, available exclusively on Buckeye Broadband, is presented by PNC Bank for the achiever in you, and by Yark Automotive, just what you're looking for.
welcome you back to the Vincent Williams Show. 27 points in the first half. The St. John's lead is 17. Terry, he's on another level right now.
Boy, he sure is. You know, I'm glad that I didn't have to be in that locker room at halftime trying to figure out how to stop this man tonight, because inside, outside, hand in the face, no hand in the face, defensive end, he's done it all tonight for St. John's.
That's the voice of Terry Shadle. I'm Mason Lowry. Happy you could be with us, spending part of your weekend right here on VCSN. Terry, if you are St. Francis, what kind of adjustments do you need to make to get back in it in the second half?
Oh boy, as I said, you know, you have to try to find a way to slow Vincent down, maybe run a second guy at him, find a way to make him give the basketball up. But again, he's done it off the dribble, he's done it off the bounce, he's done it off the pass. Tough task for them to get the job done to slow him down tonight. Nice
spin move by Dimitri Mitsopoulos under the rim. His feet a little low for Houston King, and the Knights force an early turnover. That's what they need to do, but they need to take advantage of these. Absolutely,
you know, and it's not a situation where they're going to be able to get it all back at once. You got to chip away at it, have little points in the game where you try to cut it down, cut into the lead slowly but surely.
Jaquil Wells, a quiet first half, just 2 points, committed 2 fouls as well. There's Jackie Harris from the outside. Rebound underneath by Peyton Moyer. Here's Williams in a hurry, one into the other. Foul is on the floor. You know, sometimes where that happens in a high school game, you hear parents and fans, continuation. There's no such rule in high school, just throwing that out there.
Right, he got him way outside before he'd started any motion there, before the shot was going up, out of bounds. Good call by the officials.
King. Yes. Houston King with 16 points.
Excellent out of bounds play there. A little lob to Williams. King curls right around. Defender goes underneath of that screen set by Williams. Makes him pay by knocking the 3 down.
The first time tonight the lead is up to 20. Wells pushed it to the wing. Was tipped by Williams, but Harris able to take advantage. Houston King hasn't taken a ton of shots. In fact, he's made every shot he's attempted so far. How's that for efficiency?
And that's exactly what Coach talked about before the game, how efficient he is. And
Christie on the attack, count the basket. Ryan Christie, the 6'1 senior.
Foul number 34, Jackie Harris, his third, team second. Basket was good.
Nice job by Christie there to get to the rim, absorb the bump, make the basket. Opportunity for a 3-point play here.
Ryan Christie, mentioned earlier from Oak Harbor, which incidentally is also my hometown. His father, Don, best high school basketball player ever to come out of the little red and green village on the lake.
And he had a great situation at their place there. He's got a full court gym in his barn with a couple shoot away guns, because it's his coach who made the gun, invented the gun. So they got a couple guns in their barn, so he's definitely had the opportunity to put some shots up.
Don Christie, one of the nicest guys you'll find in the game in Northwest Ohio.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We always made an opportunity in Northview to either scrimmage them or go against them, and it was great competition, and as you said, great guy.
Oak Harbor not exactly known for producing basketball talent, as Travis Lewis calls a full timeout. Don Christie a good one, and so is his son Ryan. We'll step away, 5:50 left in the third, a 20-point Titan lead. 31. St. John's running away with round 1 of this great rivalry. This would be an 18th consecutive win in it for St. John's. A foul is called. Ryan Christie attacked the basket.
Great backdoor action there. Just got an extra step as he was receiving the basketball. Got him for the travel.
Limited touch last. It will stay with the Knights. Shaquille Wells really has to get going on the offensive end.
Pretty good move there.
Maybe that'll get him going. The Knights really need him to pick it up. We talked about him driving the car in the first half. No call there as Taylor McNeil went down from the corner. That's Mitsopoulos. McNeil got it poked away. It is St. Francis ball. Touch last by Ryan Christie.
McNeil's been kind of quiet here in the second half, rather, and you can contribute a little bit to the foul trouble that Houston King got himself onto. He started off on McNeil. King having that length, as Coach Heinzel talked about, like to put on the shooter. So with King being able to stay out of foul trouble now here in the second half, he's able to kind of neutralize McNeil early on.
Swerline allowed to shoot. He can make those. That's his first of the night. Just 4 points for the 6'1 senior.
Lichtenberg's got to get a hand up there on the defense to kind of.
St. Francis with 5 points in a row. Travis Lewis started to get into it a little bit. The Knights chance to cut it to 13 or 12 with a 3. Harris over Williams.
Tough shot there by Harris. Sized it up. Williams right in his face. Knocked it down.
And Swerline called for the foul.
Foul number 10 to Swerline is third.
If you're Ed Heinzel here, Terry, do you consider taking a timeout? This is an 8-0 run for the Knights, and it's quieted the St. John student section.
Yeah, it sure has, and it's got a situation where if they could get a stop here and get to the 3, they can get it to single digits.
King, planked it. Sonnenberg was in real foul trouble in that first half. Came up with a rebound, one into the other. Shaquille Wells, and now Ed Heinzel, I think, will look for the timeout. Indeed he will. The St. Francis side of the gym collectively leaps to its feet. It's a 30-second timeout. St. Francis not going quietly. They got blown out here last year, right at the end of the regular season on Valentine's Day. They lost by 27. At the time, I called it a Valentine's Day massacre. They don't want to go through that again.
They sure don't, and one of the things, the situations here, St. John's lost a little bit of that intensity. It's hard to keep that intensity. You get up by 20 points so early on. We still have 3 minutes and 50 seconds left here in the third quarter. Coach Heinzel got in the guys' faces pretty good right there. Get that intensity back that got you that 20-point lead. You can't rest for a second, as you showed. St. Francis right back at you, down to 10 points. Got a ball game.
Vince Williams has not scored in the second half. Needs to establish himself again. Jackie Harris out on him. Zipped it pass to the corner. Open shots that were there for the Titans in the first half have not really been there here in the third quarter. Christie got 2 defenders up in the air. Great ball reversal for Lichtenberg.
Great ball reversal for sure. Moyer making the extra pass to a wide open Lichtenberg in the corner, knocked it down.
Wells on the offensive, missed it. Almost came down on Lichtenberg, yikes. He was lying prone under the basket. Williams was asking for the ball. Swerline on him. And that's too easy. First point in the second half for Williams.
Just so good off of the bounce. Handles the basketball. Patient with his move. Got all the way to the rim. Easy 2 for Williams.
St. Francis went on that 10-0 run in the blink of an eye. It's a 15-point game again. Foul on the floor, and it's on Vincent Williams.
Foul number 32, Vince Williams is
Vincent did a good job of getting there to the help side. Almost caused the traveling by McNeil as he tried to hop around that help side defense of Williams, but Williams got with the hip a little bit there.
Christie did a nice job of staying with Swerline there. Wells got some space and able to hit over Moyer. Wells coming to life a bit. Half dozen points in this third quarter, and a foul is called, much to the consternation of the St. Francis side of the gym.
Wells in that shot there. Great job. Pretty good defense by Moyer. A little step back there. Hit the elbow jump shot. Good shot by Wells.
It's a fourth foul on Drew Swerline. Vince Williams for two. 31 points for the big fella.
You got Vince Williams on the block. You've got to have help side defense there on the backside. No help side defense. Great entry pass by Lichtenberg on the lob. Williams all alone for an easy two.
Wells has liked attacking from the wing in the second half. He is feeling it. 10 points, 8 of them in the second half.
Moyer doing a pretty good job defensively cutting off the quickness of Wells, but he's making him pay by hitting that pull-up jump shot.
Williams. King with the follow-up. Pulled on by Wells, and he'll look to run. 3 men back for the Titans. Wells all alone. It rattled out, but he'll shoot 2. Foul is on Christie. And Vince Williams hopping to the bench behind the play. He might have rolled an ankle.
Foul number 4, Ryan Christie, his second team seven.
That sucked some of the air out of the gym.
Yeah, you never like to see that no matter who it is, especially if the Titan faithful the night that Williams is having. Saw Wells with his quickness there in the open court, able to get to the rim almost with the and one as the ball just rimmed off the rim there, and he'll get 2 free throws.
May have been a cramp too. Sort of hard to tell.
That would be a possibility. You know, this is his first game action here in almost 2.5 weeks, and it doesn't matter how hard you go in practice and condition, the atmosphere and that intensity and that all the motions that are running through you play a part of that as well.
Wells 0 for 5 from the free throw line tonight.
Well, that's one of the things, as you're trying to make yourself a comeback, you got to make those freebies at the line.
King swirled out from the elbow. Brent Sonnenberg back out there. He had to sit for a while with foul trouble. Swerline on the bench now with 4 fouls. Andy Harris in the corner. He has 14 points. Taylor McNeil, the star of the first half of the Knights with 17, has not scored since halftime. Here he is for 3 from way outside. Kept alive though by St. Francis, but only momentarily. Here's Houston King, transition layup. It goes!
Wow, great body control by King to absorb the bump and the foul in the bucket.
4th foul on Sonnenberg.
Basket was good on the line for the Titans, number 14, Houston.
Coach Luce definitely going to have a decision here with Sonnenberg. Probably going to have to sit him down for a bit here.
Houston King had a terrific summer. In fact, a shooting outburst in one AAU game with Patrick Ewing in the building caught the attention of Georgetown.
With these AAU tournaments these kids play in, all these college coaches are able to see them. And if the head coach is able to see them in that situation, a lot can happen in summer AAU for you.
In terms of where he might end up, you hear Central Michigan, you hear Stony Brook. Tell you what, he could fit in quite nicely in Keno Davis' offense up in Mount Pleasant as Wells rattles it in. And a lazy pass. McNeil poked it ahead to Wells, but a foul before the layup. McNeil was fouled.
Foul number 4,
All right, Christie. 3rd on him.
Christie did get McNeil up there before he was able to give that ball up. Unfortunate. Coach Lewis didn't like it, but it was a foul.
Oh, it goes from the free throw line. One more coming.
I didn't quite see the foul there on that one. Hand in the face. Got him a little bit on the elbow there, I guess. Opportunity for an and one.
Now, number 44, who made that jumper and then missed the free throw, up from the junior varsity squad. Three ball is short. King with a rebound. 10 seconds left in the quarter, and a foul on Taylor McNeil. No, it was interesting. When we talked with Travis Lewis, he was being mic'd up for one of the other television networks in town. Ed Heinschel chose not to be mic'd up, but Coach Lewis said, hey, for me it's a good thing because I need to stay cool, calm, and collected. If I'm wearing the microphone, then I'll remember it's there and I'll keep things cool.
Yeah. Cool to a point because Coach Lewis, he's a fiery guy, he's a competitor, gets after it on the sideline. So while that's in theory great, he's going to show his emotions.
Houston King shooting into the St. Francis student section. They think he's overrated. He's got 20 points.
I think he thinks differently. One of the situations here, with having Vincent having been out the past 3 games, the Titans are used to it. So it's not like this is something brand new for them. They've had 3 games where they've been successful, so they can continue that. And this is something that they've already been exposed to with him being out.
Wells pushed it to the corner. 3 at the buzzer, too long. That's at the buzzer from half court. Marcus Jarrett left it short. So 8 minutes left in this one. Vincent Williams back to the scores table. He'll come in for the start of the fourth. A 14-point lead for St. John's. This has been a barn burner here in the Dome. Travis Lewis in the bottom left of your screen trying to get the St. Francis fans and students energized. They won that third quarter 20-17. They trail by 14 though coming into the fourth, and Vince Williams, who sat for the last few minutes of that third quarter with a leg injury, is back out there. That might make it that much more difficult for the Knights to come back.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Wells. He had 10 points in that third quarter, 10 of his 12 over that 8-minute stretch. He'll need to pour in more points if they'll come all the way back. Wells came all the way out and bumped Mitsopoulos.
A little bit too aggressive there, got him with the body. It's a situation, not terrible foul, unfortunately St. John's is in the bonus 1-on-1, but you got to take some chances here to try to get yourself some easy buckets. Got to find a way to keep your body off the ball handler though.
Dimitri Mitsopoulos, the 5'10 sophomore, with his first points of the game. It was interesting at the end of the third quarter, the back and forth between the two student sections. It all started with the St. Francis chance of overrated, and it kind of went back and forth. Let's play football to let's play hockey to let's play school. And after that, there really is nowhere to go. Kind of chanted yourself into a corner, I think. It's been a tremendous atmosphere. Both student sections have been as good as advertised. The St. Francis students in a blackout. Foul call with the hook on Kyron Bolden. And the St. John students in all manner of throwback jerseys. I think my favorite, you and I were talking about this before tip-off, there's a mid-90s Denver Nuggets Dikembe Mutombo that I quite like. And Sonnenberg left the ball behind. Vince Williams threw it off of him, and that's probably the best that St. Francis could have hoped for because it would have been off to the races for Vince Williams.
And you see interesting matchup change that Coach Heinzel has done. I don't know if it's attributed to the injury that Williams had or what happened here, but they've switched and Williams is now guarding Sonnenberg, and we got Bolden who moved over to Jackie Harris. We'll see how that unfolds going forward.
Moyer in the paint.
Great job by Peyton there to switch over to the right hand, was going with the left. Got the lane cut off, switched to the right, and finished at the rim.
Taylor McNeil, his first points of the second half, give him 19. This will in all likelihood be Ed Heinchel's 699th win, a chance for 700 tomorrow night if the game happens against Lakewood St. Ed's when they'll come here, depending on how much snow was dumped on the greater Cleveland area. Williams behind the back, spinning, falling away, missed the jumper, pulled down though in traffic by Mitsopoulos. Williams, Harris went airborne. 33 for number 32. Swirling there, barely grazed iron.
Yeah, not the shot Coach Lewis wants. You got to get quick shots, but you can get a better shot than that one. Dribbling into a three with a hand in the face.
King. 24 points for Houston King. Travis Lewis not happy with the official down below us. We'll step aside with 5:49 left.
Timeout.
21-point lead for St. John's. An unforced turnover by St. Francis. We were talking before the break about Ed Heinchel and his 698, soon to be 699 wins. As Williams lost the handle. 5 on 4 for the moment as Williams returns to the play, and then one for Jaquil Wells. Wells doing what he can in this second half to pick up the scoring slack. Taylor McNeil at 17 before halftime, just 2 points since, and Wells with 2 in the first half and 12 points since coming back out of the locker room. Still hasn't made a free throw though. He has missed all 6 he has attempted. But just to finish the point on Ed Heinchel, and I've only known him for the last 6 years or so, and even then I only know him in this cordial professional way when we talk to him at events and occasionally see him at a different St. John's sporting event. The thing that is so remarkable to me about him, and it's a testament both to him and the caliber of staff that he's able to keep with him on the bench, he makes guys better. And they don't just improve incrementally, they improve so much.
Yeah, very, very rigorous off-season shooting and weightlifting And, you know, as I said, attribute that to his staff as well, because, you know, he's the one in charge, but he's got a great staff around. Coach Schoen does a great job of getting these guys in their workouts and their shooting workouts and their weight room workouts. And, you know, Coach Heinzel gets the rolling, but he, as you said, he has a great staff surrounding him to help him get the job done.
Shaquille Wells is fouled out, and that's a shame because he really is such a fun player to watch. He departs with 14 points. 6 misses at the free throw line. He'll think about those, but a great kid and a real leader on this team. Coach Lewis was telling us he was in the gym this morning, banging the door down at 12:30, or I guess in the afternoon. School was canceled, but no, there's a big game tonight, and I've got to be ready for it. We'll stay down at the St. John's end in front of the St. Francis student section.
Yeah, he talked about how he kind of thinks it's clicked for him finally. You know, he's got that bug in his mind to play at the next level, and so many times it doesn't happen until a kid's a senior, and you know they start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Great for that kid to only be a junior, halfway through his junior year. That light is clicked, and hopefully he can make that continuation to the next level.
Yeah, they kind of start to feel that sense of basketball mortality. Mitsopoulos stepped out of bounds, and you're absolutely right, and you know so well from your time as a coach that it starts to hit mid or late December for a senior who's maybe not doing a lot. They think, oh my gosh, I got to do everything I can do before my career is over, and then they have a great January and February, and it was like, gosh, where was this January, February last year?
It's one of those things you preach to the kid and preach to the kid that, listen, this thing that you got going on is going to be over and done before you know it. You've got to give everything you can because you're going to regret it. And so as a coach, you just try so hard to get those kids in situations where they have as few regrets as possible.
Rejection by Vince Williams. Everything he does is so fluid. He makes it all look easy. So does Houston King from the outside. Give him 27 points. Hey, if Houston King gets 3 more, St. John's 11 of 15 from 3. That's frankly ridiculous. Houston King gets 3 more, folks. We'll have a St. John's team with 2 30-point performances. But I'm going to hazard a guess that in Ed Heinzel's first 698 wins, that hasn't happened more than a time or two, if at all.
No doubt about it. I mean, to get 2 20-point scores, but we got 2 guys here who are going to get 30.
Good hands over on the wing. Really an air ball. We were talking about this too during a break. St. John's last year got to a regional final. Lost at the Jar in Akron to a really, really good Massillon Jackson team that had a couple of Division I guys. Ryan Christie is mauled in the lane. Kyle Young is down at Ohio State. And Logan Hill, who is redshirting this year at Toledo. Todd Kowalczyk trying to spread out a big freshman class. And kind of thought, I wonder if that might be the top of the mountain for this particular group. But I think this year, this group might even be better in spite of some of the guys they've had to replace, guys like Harrison Riggs. But they're doing just about everything, and they're doing it in style. Well,
they sure did, you know, and as you said, they replaced some very important players in last year's team. However, they didn't replace Vincent Williams, who was a tremendous player last year, but the work he's done in the offseason to raise his game and elevate his play and carry this St. John's team is just unspeakable what he's done. And as you said, you also have Houston King, who obviously is getting the job done as well. And again, having that 1-2 punch is going to really play well for St. John's going forward here in the rest of this season.
Now a full timeout taken by St. John's. I think there was some confusion. This may have always been a full timeout, but St. Francis wasn't aware. Nor were we. Titans will improve to 8-2. They're coming off the win over Clay. They hung 77 points last Friday without Vince Williams. Before that, they were out of that aforementioned holiday tournament at Torrey Pines in San Diego. Losses to Crossroads School out there with the son of Shaq, who Ed Heinrich came back and said, hey, he's the real deal. Also, LA Westchester. But their 4 wins in the track before this one by an average of 28 points, and that included a pretty impressive win over Whitmer, I think. Beat them by 18. I think that's a good Whitmer team. They played a thriller with St. Francis, beat them at home by 3 early on in the year, but we've grown accustomed to saying St. John's is the class of the track, and they are once again.
Yeah, they sure are, you know. And as you mentioned, that Whitmer team, a young Whitmer team that is a solid team. Coach Brown's done a great job with them, up and coming. Had, as you said, an excellent game with St. Francis, but you know, right now just having Vincent Williams, having Houston King, St. John's certainly the class of not only the track, but Northwest Ohio for sure.
On the line for the Titans, number 4,
And of course, you've got
Christian.
Cardinal Stritch and Maumee Valley and Toledo Christian at the Division III, Division IV level. Those are the kind of teams that can make a deep tournament run. Would be nice to send a couple of schools on the guys' side down to Columbus. We're accustomed to Notre Dame and Rogers on the girls' side, but it'd be great to have a nice caravan from Toledo go down there for that boys' state tournament weekend. And the nice thing about basketball in the Toledo area is for all of the rivalries and all the pomp and circumstance in the regular season, once you get down to districts and regionals, Jackie Harris hitting the 3 and chance to make it a 4-point play. Jackie Harris really has developed into a pretty darn good 3-point shooter. Talk about Ed Heinchel able to have his players diversify their games. Jackie Harris has certainly improved in that sense.
Well, it sure is, you know, his brother up at Eastern Michigan doing things on the football field. So good around the basket, and you know that's only going to make him more valuable in his opportunities and options for next year at the next level.
His brother Jeremy or Jeremiah, depending on what season it was when he was at Benford. It seemed like he went by a different name on the roster each season. Having a phenomenal defensive end career up in Ipsy. Chris Creighton has done a terrific job with that program. But just to finish up that point from a moment ago, the Swerline comes up with a steal. Once you get past the regular season, you're into districts and into regionals, especially when a Toledo area team has a chance to make it out of Savage Arena, everybody kind of circles the wagons around that one team or school. It really is a brotherhood. Williams with a driving layup, 35 points for him. So you know, if 1 or 2 teams make it down there, there's going to be there will be people traveling in busloads to get down there and support whoever might make it to the Final Four.
Yeah, it sure would be nice, you know, and St. John's obviously showing that they have an opportunity. Coach Kaczmarek over at Cardinal Stritch has really assembled himself a nice squad as well. Jackie Harris knocks down another 3.
In a 30-second timeout taken by St. Francis, down 18 with 2:09 left. And you know, you often hear fans in the stands when you're up by a wide margin, as St. John's is right now. They start to complain when a team that's down by a lot takes a timeout. The thing I think maybe they don't always realize, Terry, and I know you can attest to this, everything, especially in a game like this, is a teachable moment.
Absolutely, you know, I mean, yeah, at this point, there's 2 minutes left. It's an 18-point ball game, but we're only halfway through this season here, so we've got 9-10 games left on his schedule. They're going to play these guys again. You are working at every minute, every second of this basketball game to improve. All right, you have to improve on something. You have to get something out of this last 2 minutes and get yourself better if it's only for this last 2 minutes of this game.
Every moment a teachable one. Sometimes you've got one specific point you want to make, one thing you want them to focus on the last 2 minutes. And if that can help you win a game down the road, then it's absolutely worth your time.
Call number 44 is first.
Houston King to the line.
On the line for the Titans, number 14, Houston King.
Gary Batch is out there, number 44 for the Titans.
I just never understood those coaches who in these situations would just find themselves sitting on the bench and let the game just kind of pick its way out. Doesn't matter what the situation says, there's always a coachable minute. You can always improve on something. That's when you forget the scoreboard and get your guys that are on the floor, get them better.
Coach, we have a white escape. License plate GV.
St. Francis team has played incredibly hard.
Team bus.
Just ran into the buzzsaw that is the law firm of Williams and King. And it's not just those two. Peyton Moyer has contributed, and Ryan Christie and Brady Lichtenberg. Dimitri Mitsopoulos terrific on the defensive end. That rolls in for Drew Swerline. Sean Gallagher is out there, a 5'9" senior, getting a chance to play in this rivalry game. Elijah Kimmons in there also for St. John's. Ryan Christie is fouled.
Number 11, Jamea Neal, his first. On the line for the
Travis Lewis will empty out his bench. What a truly terrific game. But sometimes these rivalries don't really live up to the hype or the expectation, and although in the end St. John's wins this one running away, this has been a tremendous display of basketball.
Boy, it sure has. Even though it's snowy outside, the fans packed it in here, and boy, they had a show. It was exciting basketball up and down the floor. Williams and King lighting it up, and St. Francis, as you credited, they did not back down. They got after it the entire game. High energy basketball, high energy gymnasium.
It's hard not to play with energy when you've got a high energy coach like Travis Lewis.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that you're playing St. John's, St. Francis, if you can't get yourself up for this game, then you're doing the wrong thing.
This is Andrew Kozak at the line, a 6'2" junior. Brought in Nolan and Sarah. Scott Zepp, we saw some of him in the first half. Aaron Swerline also, the junior. The younger Swerline. Thomas Saros is out there for St. John's, also number 50, a freshman, Elijah Kimmons with a layup.
Number 24, Elijah Kimmons.
The 8th Titan to score. Aaron Swerline forced it, and Stara with the offensive board. He was fouled. St. Francis will be back at it next Tuesday against Springfield. Springfield team that gave Northview a real run for their money last Friday in a game that Red Boyd and I called here on BCSN. That was back and forth all night. Northview scored the first 9 points. Springfield led by 9 late in the half. Northview came back to take a 2-point lead at the break, etc., etc. In the end, the Wildcats won by 7. And speaking of big-time rivalry games in the Toledo area, you and I are going to have another one next week. The Battle of Sylvania, Northview, Southview, two teams that will presumably be undefeated in league play going into next week. In fact, I believe they will be. Northview's game with Anthony Wayne is postponed tonight. It's Sam Swift missing a 3. Zeros is a very good athlete with the offensive rebound. And that dances home for Gary Batch.
Basket for number 44, Gary Batch.
Zepp couldn't rattle in the runner, bashed out of bounds by Zeros. An unbelievable offensive display by St. John's. Season high scoring output was 89. That was in the season opener on Ed Heinschel Court dedication night against Rogers. They won that game 89-52. Falling 86 on St. Francis. Travis Lewis down below us still clapping his hands. There's a lot to be proud of in this performance. You come on the road. Last year they lost by 27. This year they lose by 23, but it felt like a better performance.
It did. You know, they competed, and end of the day, no answer for Vincent Williams, Houston King, just too much for them. You know, it doesn't matter how hard you play. When you have the talent that those two have, it's going to be tough to overcome when you have two guys scoring at 30.
Final couple of seconds will tick away, and that's it. A tremendous performance for the St. John's Jesuit Titans. Vincent Williams and Houston King combining for 64 points. They roll 86-65 in spite of a really good effort from the Knights. And now all eyes for St. John's on tomorrow night. Ed Heinschel on 699 wins could get to 700 with a win over Lakewood St. Ed's.
Boy, that's not going to be an easy task, because year in and year out, St. Ed's one of the top in the state.
That'll do it for Terry Shadle and our great crew. This is Mason Lowry saying so long from the Titan Dome. BCSN in high definition, brought to you by Dave White Chevrolet. The place to go is Alexis and Monroe. Dave White Chevrolet. This has been a presentation of BCSN, seen only on Buckeye.